In the Peruvian Andes, two towns sit only an hour apart, yet they breathe in completely different rhythms. Cusco, as we've talked about, and Pisac. Both are bound to the spine of the Andes and the memory of the Inca, yet one feels imperial and monumental, while the other feels agricultural, intimate, and cyclical. To understand their differences is to understand the deeper spirit of the Sacred Valley and the ways mythology still presses into the daily lives of the people who call it home. Cusco was once the capital of the Inca Empire, the navel of the world. We already talked about this, how it resembles a puma, and the stones and the walls not being just decorative relics, but declarations of cosmic order. Spanish colonial churches sitting atop the Inca foundations, a physical layering of conquest over cosmology we already know. Okay? But Pisac is why we're here today. By contrast, it's a town of terraces and river bends. It does not overwhelm with grandeur. It unfolds slowly. Above it rise the agricultural terraces, carved into the mountainsides, part of a vast system that once sustained imperial populations. The ruins of Pisac cling to the cliffs, not as symbols of administrative power, but as guardians of agricultural intelligence and ritual alignment. The market in Pisac is less about spectacle and more about continuity. Farmers descend from highland communities with potatoes, corn, and woven textiles. The Quechua language is heard not as a performance for visitors, but as a living inheritance. Cusco feels so layered with the empire and tourism, whereas Pisac feels rooted in land and subsistence. In Cusco, cathedrals dominate the skyline, and they're beautiful. But in Pisac, mountains dominate everything. And the little homes you see dotted in the air, carved out of the sides. The Sacred Valley, stretching between these towns along the Urubamba River, earns its name not through romantic exaggeration, but through cosmology. For the Inca, geography was theology. These mountains that were known as Apus were living beings. You might have remembered we touched on it, but they were protectors, ancestors, and judges. These snow-capped peaks were not scenic backdrops. They were presences that listened. Offerings were made to them in rituals that balanced human need with spiritual reciprocity. The valley's fertility set it apart from the harsher highlands. Corn grew here in abundance, and corn was sacred. It was fermented into chicha for ritual use and state ceremonies. Agriculture was not merely economic activity, but participation in cosmic cycles. The sun god Inti, central to Inca religion, was honored through precise agricultural calendars. Solstices and equinoxes dictated planting and harvesting. Time itself was sacred, measured against celestial movements that bound heaven to soil. That cosmology did not disappear with the Spanish conquest. It adapted. Catholic saints were woven into older frameworks of mountain worship. A procession for the Virgin might follow a route that once honored an Apu. A cross placed on a hilltop may stand where offerings to the Earth Mother Pachamama were once buried. Today, farmers still make small payments to the earth before planting, pouring chicha onto the ground or tucking coca leaves into the soil. The gesture may not always be explained in theological terms, but it persists as an instinct. In Pisac, this continuity is more visible. Families still rely on terraced agriculture. Season festivals revolve around harvest cycles. Traditional dress is worn not only for visitors, but as everyday attire in surrounding communities. weaving patterns carry encoded meanings. The symbols of rivers, mountains, constellations, textiles are archives of cosmology. Cusco, though more urban and commercial, carries the myth in subtle ways, like during Inti Raymi, the festival of the sun, the city reenacting ceremonial, imperial aspects, but actors in these elaborate regalia process through the plazas once walked by Inca rulers, tourists filling the stands. But many locals consider this festival not to just be theater, something again we did touch on. What's important to understand here is the reaffirmation of identity, a reminder that beneath these facades, the deeper lineage, the pride of the Inca heritage shapes everything around you. The imprint of mythology is what we want to focus on, and how it shapes social relationships as well. The Andean principle of Aini, the sacred reciprocity, it's embedded in community life to this day. Ani dictates that help given must be returned, that labor is shared, that no family stands alone during planting or harvest. In rural areas around Pisac, neighbors gather to build houses or clear fields, knowing that the favor will be returned in time. This is not charity, it's a cosmic balance that's enacted socially. In Cusco, Aini evolves into urban networks of